All right. Welcome, guys, to our noon Zoom with Dr. Doug Firebaugh. This is an extension of his Wealth Fuel membership place, but he allows us to come in for free on Friday. So if you're not a part of Wealth Fuel, you get to come and join us on
Excuse me, this is not my gig. This is everybody's. This is a mastermind. I just happen to be allowed to be in here.
All right. Okay. Yes, we let you in today. No, he's so humble, guys. But being in this space with a mind like Dr. Doug and the stuff that you're going to get from him, the way he pours wisdom into every conversation that we have is huge. He's mentored me for over 10 years. He's mentored Paul. He's, I think, mentored you as well, Alan. And just it's incredible what we've got from him. And so to be able to come in here and share his space is huge, even though he's so humble to say it's all of ours. But this is a mastermind. And so if this is, if you've got people that you're talking to in the profession that maybe aren't even necessarily on your team, invite them to this space. Get them in around here. If you're talking to people and you're having conversations and you're building relationships, this is such a great place to be able to invite people. And we do it on our team as well. We just say, hey, I'm so happy that you're happy where you are. Do you know that on Fridays, Dr. Doug Firebaugh opens up his coaching for free? Come on over at 12 Eastern. You don't have to be on camera. You don't, just come in and listen and get fed. And that's what we do here. So I'm really excited today. I'm going to share my screen here. Oops, that's not the right one. 1 second, guys. Hey, I'll stop my share. Why didn't it go to the right one? 1 sec, guys. I'm going to close out. Sorry, talk amongst yourselves for a moment. I don't know why. I got to close out these other ones.
You know what it is? You don't have that amazing sound and lighting guy that you had in Fort Lauderdale.
I
know.
know.
Was there.
I know. I don't know why I can't close these other ones out. It's like stuck in that escape mode. There we go.
We're the kind of people, Angel, you don't have to worry about us. We talk to ourselves all the time. We're self-employed.
That's right. Exactly.
But Alan, what answers do you get? Because I get these long, drawn-out answers from the voices in my head. I will tell you that.
Sometimes it's scary, and it depends on what the question is. But yeah, I understand, my friend. Sometimes you go, "Wait, was that no? Who? Yeah, okay."
Yeah, it's good. I love my conversations with myself, though. I make myself laugh, and it's great. Okay, so today, guys, we're going to be talking about building grit to become bulletproof in the marketplace. So as I said, this was my topic on stage, and I love conversations on grit. A few years ago, I went to the Global Leadership Convention, or whatever they call it, and a leader came up and spoke on grit, and I took those notes, and those notes have been something that I've gone back to over and over and over again, because building grit and building this ability to withstand everything, but also understanding what building grit looks like. And you may be right now, well, I don't know if I have any grit, and I've heard about this, and I think I do, and I want to be strong, and I want to be bulletproof. But we're going to talk today about how you've been building grit all along the way. That you right now, you're already strong. And we're going to talk about what that looks like, what this conversation looks like. And so we've got a few slides here today. I'm just going to move around my screen so it's not blocking. So the first thing I want to talk about is the past. Now, your past is what builds your grit, but a lot of us share it in the wrong way. So don't share or dwell on the painful parts of your past. You know, those people that you meet and they're like, oh my gosh, I went through this, and this was, 15 years ago, this is what happened. And I went through this awful divorce, and oh, this is what my relationship looked like. And oh, I lost a parent, and oh, I'm still getting through that. Reliving those painful parts, your body and your mind actually don't recognize that you're not going through them again. So every single time one of those people, or even us, right, when we're sharing our painful past or sharing a painful story, our nervous system doesn't know that we're not reliving it again. Our emotional state doesn't know that we're not reliving it again. And I've done that myself, where I've told something that was really actually a traumatic experience for me, and I can feel my body go into that mode again, right? That fight or flight kind of mode, and you can feel your nervous system just go out of whack. You feel the stress levels come back up. So if there's something that you can start to do right now from this day forward, is stop sharing that past. Turn it into a positive. If you want to say, hey, I went through some stuff, but oh my gosh, it got me to where I am today. oh my gosh, I'm so grateful that God took me through those trials and tribulations because I am so much stronger. It is building my grit. Use it as your personal victory. Do not become a victim. So you are a victor, not a victim, no matter where your emotional state is right now, because you may still feel like you're in that victim mentality. You may still feel like you're a victim of a past thing that maybe you haven't let go, or maybe you haven't forgiven. And forgiven just means releasing. It doesn't mean forgiving somebody for what they've done. It just means forgiving it in your soul so that you can move on and view every part of your past as building your grit, which is making you unstoppable. So everything, if you can look at something that you have really detested in your life, something that you've really used as a very emotional crutch. If it's something that's really been pulling you back, kind of like if you're wearing a hoodie and it's grabbing the hood and it's just holding you back, if you can start to see that as something that's building you and building you into being unstoppable, and really is something that you can just cut off that connection right there where it's holding you back and you just release from it and you let it go, that is what makes you unstoppable. Grit is fueled by the non-dreamers. We all have those people in our lives. A lot of what we go through in this profession, especially in the beginning, I'm still going through it. I still have people who doubt everything I do. And I shared that they think I'm in a cult. They think this is all just some wacky woohoo stuff that we do. But your grit is fueled by those people. Turn the naysayers into that fuel for your grit. Every time you hear it, be thankful. When somebody says something negative to you or says something that's actually holding you back, start to be grateful for those moments and be like, wow, thank you so much. That is building me so much, because you just wait and see what I'm about to do. Have dreams that are bigger than your struggles. So what are your dreams? Are they bigger than what you're going through right now? Because if they're not, there is nothing fueling you to get you out of that struggle. And you will see the same routine go every single year over and over again. The same patterns are going to come into your life, because if you're not running and you're not changing to be able to grow into those dreams, the struggle is holding you back. You're just going to stay there. So either you've decided that these dreams are bigger, or maybe you need to come up with bigger dreams. Maybe you need to say, okay, she's right. I don't have dreams that are pulling me. So build some bigger dreams. I was talking to somebody this morning and he was asking me what my why was. And all of a sudden out of my mouth came things that I wasn't even thinking of. They're inside me. They're dreams that I have. They're dreams that I want, but I wasn't speaking them enough to even realize that's what's inside me. And decide today. So as we're going through this right now, make that decision that you're creating a new future and writing a new picture for your life. You can start right now. You can draw that line in the sand and you can step across it and say, no more of what's back there. I want to go into the future. So Paul, I'll go to you first. I'll go to Dr. Doug and Alan. Paul, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, I love that you opened up with the fact that when we relive certain traumas, even mentally, our brain releases the same exact chemicals. So if let's say you're in a really, really bad car accident and 20 years later, you have a dream about that car accident, your brain is releasing the same exact chemical cocktail and almost can't tell the difference. So we relive those traumas over and over again. And something I see a lot of people do, which you kind of mentioned and led towards, is that they almost become proud, or they want to wear those struggles that they're currently having as a badge of honor, instead of releasing them and making room for the good stuff that's coming in. Because when you're blocked, we say when we live in the past, even though we may have great memories, I was the high school football star and everything, we still have pain because those memories are gone. And if we live in the future, we don't know what the future is going to bring. So we have anxiety. So the past brings pain. The future brings anxiety. The only thing we can do is live in the present. And by reliving all of that stuff, can be really, really difficult for people. And they become the victim. I love when people create their own mess and then want to come out and play the victim towards it, And our goal as leaders, or our goal as network marketing partners or upline or sideline or downline, is to kind of coach people through that. I think that a lot of this business is getting this personal development, but really working individually with people. When you have a team of 1 or a team of 5, it's such a glorious place to be, because you could spend so much time with those people, not only working together, but helping them to get through that next step. I want to talk a little bit about grit too. I'm going to share you a story. This is 100% true. I was sponsored into my company by a multiple 7-figure earner. He texted me nonstop for 3 years with 2 companies. Danny, Joe-O, Joe O sponsored me into this business. He was in another company pitching, goes silent for a year, comes up again, pitching into the company I'm in now. And I said no. And I deleted him from my phone. This is a guy I know 30 years. Delete. I couldn't take it anymore. Every day a video. Watch this video. Did you watch the video? Then all of a sudden, I decided to just look. Instead of pushing away, I decided to watch the video, right? And then when I watched the video, I saw something in there that it's something I thought I would try. And now the rest is history, literally history, right? He's no longer even in the business, right? Imagine leaving and leaving behind a massive downline. But the point is that I was closed off. So grit is, if you identify a Doug Firebar, an Angel Chandler, a Danny Liccardi, an Alan Newell, a Jeff Goldstein, a Peg Tucker specifically, and you see something in them that you can develop, don't give up on them. Feed that fire for them until they realize that you have their best interest at heart and not just yours.
Love it. Dr.
I'm sorry,
Doug,
back to
your
you.
thoughts on this and building your grit and leaving the past in the past. Are you able to unmute? Are you staying?
Old
Am I
habits die
supposed to
hard.
say something?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this?
This is like the clubhouse days.
I was thinking the same thing, Victor.
We could build this into a clubhouse. Pain stands for path acceleration in spite of negatives. It's a path of acceleration in spite of negatives. This is something that I've been teaching for a long time, because pain, rejection, negatives, naysayers, people that are nasty, the pain of not feeling good about yourself, it is a path of acceleration. And the reason why is because the only way that you can learn how to do this business effectively is being able to get through the pain. But you don't look at pain as something that hurts or something that's stopping me or something, anything like that. It is a path of acceleration in spite of negatives. Because pain is one of those things that is either going to stop you or is going to vault you. I know some people that made the decision that they were not under any circumstances going to let the pain of rejection or the pain of resistance or the pain of anything like that stop them. And you got to ask this question: how do you know you're growing? When you go to a gym and you start working out at different levels, your muscles are going to hurt. But that's proof that you're growing. And if you are doing things that you've never done before, or new levels of things you've never done before, and you're getting more and more rejection or more nasty people or more whatever, it's proof that you're growing. And that's the reason why I've always said pain is one of the greatest indicators that growth is happening. You just have to release that into what you're doing and understand that, oh my gosh, I'm just so down. I'm just so in a funk because I got rejected, or I've gotten 20 no's in a row. Great. You're on a growth path. And it's proof that you're on a growth path, because that pain, that hurt is proof that you're growing, because there is no growth. I mean, a seed, when you plant it, has to kill itself. What do you mean? Well, seed has to literally get rid of the shell, and it has to come out of the shell. Well, something has to die in order for it to grow. So the shell part has to get being gotten rid of. Pain is nothing more than getting rid of what's stopping you. You just have to get through it. That's why it's a path of acceleration in spite of the negatives. Back to you, Andrew.
Whew, that was powerful. I love that. Getting through it and getting rid of what's holding you back. That's great. Alan, your thoughts on this slide?
I love this slide, and I love everything that everybody said, and go back to something that Paul said about grit. I want to tie this in, because today is a very important day in our country and in the world. It's Veterans Day. Veterans Day. And let me tell you something, those veterans have been through some pain, my friend, and a lot of them are still suffering in pain. But then you see the ones like David Goggins, who wrote a book called Can't Hurt Me. Can't Hurt Me. I love that book. He's colorful language wise, but his message is powerful, because here's the thing. You're talking about grit. I've been with the same company for 11 years, and it's not been all roses. And you can talk about the successes that I've had, but it took grit. I started from zero and built it organically. Okay. And it took grit. It took day to day. It took staying in there. It took continuing. And listen, there's tons of times that I could look at my past and look at situations, or I could look at that person that came on board and did great and reached a certain level, and all of a sudden they were gone. So I love what you talk about here. You see, and when you talk about you got to turn, this is what Paul said, with your mess, you got to take your mess. See, listen to this. Turn your mess into a message, and not just a message for others, but a message for yourself. You see, because God gives you, the bigger your challenges, the bigger the enemy is the one who's attacking you and trying to hold you back. God wants magnificent things for you. And the tougher and the harder that God is punching you in the face, that just means the bigger the goal and the calling that God has on your life, because the enemy's going to work hard. See, if the enemy's not leaving you alone, man, you need to get busy. Get busy. So let's think about our veterans today, and let's think about them, because a lot of them need help. I am launching a brand new program today, and I've talked about it before, and it's called Health for Heroes. Health for Heroes. And it's a program that's going to introduce veterans to this amazing opportunity that we have called network marketing and affiliate marketing. Because folks, listen, you know the biggest pain they go through? If you think about the group you see right here, and I don't know how many we have on right now, I can tell you we got 37 people in this group. Think about if this 37 people spent 3 years together in the trenches, in the battlefields, covering each other's back. Paul and I are sitting back to back in a foxhole. Dr. Doug is our general, and he's leading the way. And we live together, eat together, breathe together. We support each other. We got each other. We're family. You see, I love what Dr. Doug said last week. Family. Forget about me. I love you. You see, and then all of a sudden we're separated and we're going in different directions. And they go, here you go, your time's up. You can leave, like Forrest Gump. He runs out of the thing from playing ping pong, and he runs out into the world, and he goes back home. And what's he doing? He's mowing grass. He's by himself. He's lost. And listen, not only veterans in today's world, but there are tens of thousands, if not millions of people looking for a community, looking for an opportunity. And you take your mess and you turn it into a message for them and say, hey, listen, if I can do it, you can do it too. So I love what this says. Angel, back to you.
Yeah, that is powerful. So thank you so much for that. We actually had a veteran come up on our stage on Saturday and share just that, like what these health products and these companies are doing for those guys, you know, and what they go through. And just it was powerful for me to hear that, because it's like, wow, in my mind, I was forgetting a whole category of people, right? And just how much they've done and how much they need this as well. So that is huge. I love your Health for Heroes. That's a great idea, Alan, and that's perfect. So thank you so much for sharing that. So we want to talk now about building grit in your business and in your mindset. So the first thing is that you have to build a tenacious, unwavering belief. And we've talked about this on Friday's calls. We've talked about building a belief. After having, you know, maybe that's a month ago, 2 months ago, did you do it? Is your belief so strong that you know without a shadow of a doubt that you're going where you say you're going no matter what? And if it's not, you need to build that. You need to figure out what's holding you back. And when we talk about the past, there's something in there that's holding you back. There's some sort of belief level in yourself that's holding you back, and you can't fake it within yourself. You can't be telling yourself you believe. You are the one who knows whether or not you believe. Only you can control your belief. Nobody else can do this for you. You know, I can go to Doug, I can go to Paul and be like, hey, I believe. They can be like, oh, I want to help you with your belief, but they can't make me believe. They can't make me believe in myself. They can't force me to. They can't force me to believe in the path that I need to take or the things I need to do every single day. Only I have control over that. And only you have control over that every single day. And every single day you're waking up and you're deciding if you believe in yourself, because if you didn't take any action to move your business forward or to move your mindset forward, you're telling yourself you don't believe. So you're going to continue to do those habits, and you're going to continue to put it off because you don't believe. And it's a reality check with yourself. That's the inner work, right? If you're like, man, that hits home for me. That's exactly how I'm feeling. Every single day is kind of a groundhog day. I'm not really doing anything. I'm on this hamster wheel. and I'm not getting where I need to go. And I promise you, your belief level in where you're going isn't there. So get with somebody, get with a mentor, get with somebody that can help you on that belief. Again, they can't create it for you, but they can help you to figure out what the heck is holding you back. What is it that at this point, seeing what you've seen and being around people like this and being in these masterminds and hearing these incredible stories. I love hearing from Paul and Alan that neither of them were given a power leg. Neither of them had somebody else building their business for them. They've both gone out and created 7-figure incomes on their own. And I love hearing that, because that is grit. That is tenacity, like that is them going after it. They had to believe. Imagine the belief level you'd have to have in order to build like that in a few years and build that for yourself. And I want you to sit down with God and ask him what your focus needs to be. Now, this is something I shared on stage, and it's something I want to share with you that I did earlier this year, probably October, November of last year. So we're going back a year from now. I was going through some dark mental times. I was paralyzed. I was not moving in the direction I wanted to move. I was feeling like there was this cloud, right? And there was so many things that I was kind of working in and dabbling in and doing, and I was so unfocused, right? If you just being honest with myself, I was unfocused. I was completely unfocused. And I'd sit down with God and I'd have these conversations. And one day I just said to him, I don't even know what to pray for, because there's so much going on in my mind. I can't even silence it to get silent with you. I don't even know how to sit down and talk with you, because there's just so much. And it was just like this emotional burst inside of me where I was just like, I'm done. I can't take this chaos in my mind anymore. And he asked me, what I want you to do is pick 3 things that no matter what are your focus for this year. And I was like, 3 things? There's like 50 things going on in my head. How do I just pick 3? And he was like, just 3. So for me, of course, it's my kids, number 1, right? Their relationship with him, their health, how they're doing, taking care of them. Then second was my business, and knowing exactly the focus on which, because I was in a few businesses, not network marketing, but I've got traditional businesses. I've got my network marketing business. Where was I going to focus? And my focus shifted. He told me, come back to network marketing. You're not finished here yet. This is where I want you to grow and flourish and do the things that I've given you and the talents that I've given you. So I knew that was my second focus. And then my third focus, for anybody who knows me, is getting to Florida. That is my biggest focus in my life, is getting out of Canada and getting to Florida. So those were my 3 things. Very simple, right? But every single time I sit down with him, that is where I focus. I don't ask for anything else. Other things come up, and of course we have different conversations, but when I am spending my time with him, it's my 3 things. And what do I need to do this week, God, in order to move in those things? Where do I need to be a better mother? How do I need to support my children more? What do I need to be doing in my business? Partner with me, guide me in everything I do every single day. Send your angels before me, bring the right people to me. These are the conversations I have with him. So wherever your faith is at, and I hope if you're here that you have a relationship with God, and if you haven't tried that kind of stuff, try it. It helps. I promise he'll answer. I promise he'll help guide you. So I just really encourage you this weekend to sit down and do that, and just declutter your mind, declutter your priorities. You can't be focused on growth in your network marketing business if you've got 50 other things going on in your head every single day that you think need to be your focus. So Paul, your thoughts on this?
Wow. Well, I was going to go in a completely different direction, but I wanted to focus on the last one, because so many people tell me, oh, I wish I had you as an upline, or I wish I had so-and-so as an upline. And when you feel like you're alone, no one is a better upline than God. No one. I mean, you got everything you need, and so much more powerfully than any one of us, including, well, maybe not as much as Dr. Doug. He does rival a close second. But I will tell you that you have the ultimate upline. You have the ultimate upline if you just listen. I think every great self-help book and every great personal development book, if you really boil it down and boil it down and boil it down, it's the Bible, and that was a big realization I had. The other thing is, when you want to have that everything, step 1, build a tenacious, unwavering belief. You can't fake it within yourself. All of that comes from making that decision. So 1, if you put God in your life to the point where you have guidance, okay, and take that guidance and take that and borrow that strength, especially when you don't have it. Then couple that with a decision. And here's how I know you've done it. if we're on the phone together coaching, right? And it's the difference between I'm planning to call this person or, hey, Paul, do you have time? I want to get this guy on the phone right now. That's the difference. That's when I hear decision. Hey, you got 10 seconds. I want to get this guy on the phone, or hey, they got this guy I'm really thinking about calling. So I need you to start making the call and wanting to make the call, even if it's a little nerve-wracking. Borrow that strength, make the decision and make the call. Guys, that's all you're not doing. You got everything else. And everything else you'll do over and over again will get better and better and better. But you got to talk to people. You got to make the decision and start talking to people. And you're going to mess up the first 3 calls in the morning. That's why you should do 10 or 15 or 20 or 30 or as many as you get through. And when you get to that second call and that third call and you get into that groove, nothing feels better. And then Wednesday morning comes along or Saturday morning comes along and you kind of got to start all over again. And you mentioned Groundhog Day, Angel. So guidance, God, you and I dance in this. Thank you, Yolanda. It's true. You got the ultimate upline. I'll leave it at that. I can't do any better than the last one. And ask him to what your focus needs to be, and he will tell you, because it's exactly what happened to me. I give 90. I don't know how to do this, but I think Doug opened the door to me to see the bigger picture. I really think that's what he did. Yes, there's great training and a great technique and all that other stuff, but just look up once in a while, guys. You're so busy looking down and being frustrated and so busy saying how bad things are, and look up to see how great things can be. Back to you, Angel.
Love it. Dr. Doug, your thoughts on this?
I just got one thing to say. Most people have more belief in their fear than they do in their future. It's something that runs rampant in our profession. And the reason why is because we're built on a culture of lack of belief versus locked in belief. And unfortunately, when I ask people, do you have more faith in your fear than you do your future? They don't know what to say. But it's a God's honest truth. Most people have more faith in what they fear is not going to happen versus what they hope is going to happen. And that's where belief has to come in. Do you believe more in your fear? Or do you believe more in your future? And the majority, it runs rampant in our profession, Angel. It's sad but true, because most people have more faith in what they fear versus where their future is taking them, which is building a 7-figure business. Back to you.
I love that. And we're going to get into that. Hopefully we may need to stop on these slides and carry it on the next time we're gathered together. But we do actually get into that too. I brought in Dr. Doug, the David and Goliath part of what we had talked about a few weeks ago. So we'll get into that fear side. Alan, your thoughts on this slide here?
Everything that you and Paul and Dr. Doug said is so important, and you've got to do the work, and you've got to build belief in yourself when nobody else does. When you get up in the morning, look in that mirror, you talk to yourself 10,000 times more than anybody else does. Your thoughts and what your beliefs are. And the second person you should talk to the most is God, because praying every day and building your belief has a lot to do with it. I want to tell you, and all y'all know I'm a sports nut. Not a sports nut, but I'm a sports fan, because I love the challenges. And so my team, of course, living in North Carolina, is the Carolina Panthers. We traded up last year to get the #1 pick in the draft, and we chose what I thought was a bad decision in Bryce Young, who was the quarterback for the Alabama Crimson Tide, won a couple of national championships. But he's small, he's slim, and he's struggling right now. Now think about this. He's struggling. Not only is he struggling, but when last night at the game, the defense has scored more points this season than the offense has. So you think he's struggling? He's struggling. And the media is eating him alive. They are. I just pulled up this thing, and it says, so does the trade for Bryce Young go down as the worst in football history, considering the assets they gave up? Now, can you imagine being a guy that's being paid millions of dollars, was the #1 draft pick, was a Heisman Trophy candidate and winner, And so all of a sudden he's struggling. Now, here's what was interesting to me when I was watching the game last night was this. They brought up the statistics of rookie quarterbacks who are now having major success in the industry. And his record in his first season is not as bad as theirs. Yet everybody's willing to throw him to the wolves. Everybody's willing to get rid of him. Everybody's writing him off. He's done. He can't. Well, let me tell you something. The offensive line for the Carolina Panthers is struggling. So that's when you talk about when you got to build a team around you, when you got to build that support around you, when you got to have those mentors to go to, when you got to have those coaches to go to. So you can be a rock star, but your belief in yourself comes from surrounding yourself with positive, encouraging people that support and encourage you. Get away from the neggies. Don't be looking at the media. Don't be looking at the negative comments. And see, here's the deal. If you're not getting negative comments on social media, you're not working hard enough. You're not putting it out there enough because you're going to get that. And you got to realize that. And so to realize that these multi-million-dollar superstars, I guarantee you, if I ask Paul and Angel and Dr. Doug and many of the people on this call right now, and I don't want to go any further because I'd leave somebody out that needs that. Hey, have you been knocked down? Have you struggled? Did you struggle when you started this business? Was your belief kind of shaky at first? You know, you came into it thinking, I'm a rock star, I can do this. But guess what? What was it that Mike Tyson said? I think it was Mike Tyson. Said, you're not a boxer until you get hit in the face real hard. Then you figure out what kind of man you are. And so in this industry, you're going to get hit in the face, and you've got to continue to move forward and believe in yourself and talk to yourself and get around those positive, encouraging mentors. Reach out to them. These people will help you. We love helping people. So I love that. You got to get in there and you got to do the work on yourself, and you got to believe in yourself even when nobody else does. Back to you, Angel.
I love that.
You know, I see that piano back in the background. When I come to see Alan, be ready because I'm going to play some Billy Joel and Elton for you.
And you're going to sing some Elvis too, aren't you?
I don't think so.
Alan, I think what we got to do is when we got to plan an event that we're all going to be at, we got to plan it out in the future, and we got to have one night of just the Friday night before the event. It's going to be, people are going to see us at our best and our worst at the same time.
Hey,
and
listen,
I mean that because my singing is if it's not the right song, it could be the worst.
Yeah, I think Angel invited me to say we were going to Jamaica or somewhere. I forget.
Nice. Come, we'd love to have you. Hey, Doug, there's a song.
Isn't that where we're going? Angel,
That's where we're going.
Hey guys,
I know she's going. I know she's going. She's made the commitment. I think Danny's going too. Doug, there's a great song by Billy Joel and Ray Charles. It's called Baby Grand. Would love to do that one with you. It's a great, great song.
Hey guys, a karaoke secret: the more the audience has been drinking, the better you will sound to them.
That's right. And I said to Angel yesterday, see, she put a post out on social media that said, who wants to go to Jamaica with me? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what's going on down there, but I'm in for Jamaica. And she laughed. And we were talking yesterday, Paul, about that. We need to get a Wealth Fuel Nation group together in a live event somewhere. Hey, maybe it's a cruise. I don't know. I don't know where it is, but we need to get a group of people together, and we need to put at least 150, 200 people on a cruise on an out and get together. And man, you talking about changing some lives, Dr. Doug. Absolutely. We can get up there and minister to people and lay hands on people and just pour into people. See, that's what you got to do with your team. You got to pour into your team. You got to pour into them. You got to pick them up when they get knocked down. You see, I saw Bryce Young come off the field last night when he threw, I think, his third interception. I don't know what it was. It was ugly. I mean, it's ugly. And the coach is over there patting him on the back going, hey, come on, man, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. And I'm thinking, you know, when we were playing youth sports, you remember what the coach used to do? He would scream at you and tell you to get over and sit down and tell you what a loser you are. And that's what we were raised in. But see, when you get to the professional level, and we're all professionals, anytime you do anything that you get paid for, you're now a professional. And when you're a professional, when you're a leader and you're a coach, you got to pick them up when they get knocked down, pat them on the back. So I can't wait till we get that event together, Dr. Doug. It's going to happen. And I know you got some big things coming, but I just can't wait.
Me neither. It's going to be amazing. And I love what you said, Alan, about being around the right people. And for some of you here, maybe you don't have that circle of people, but this can be your circle. Plug in every single Friday. If you're part of Wealth Fuel, plug in every Monday and Wednesday. Dr. Doug does his noon Zooms on Mondays and Wednesdays for the Wealth Fuel membership crew as well. So guys, get that, because I promise you, before I knew Dr. Doug personally, before I knew Paul personally, before I knew Alan or Danny or anybody on here, I had nobody, but I was plugging into wherever Dr. Doug was, right? His Millionaire Road radio show literally grew me to be the person that I am now and able to step out into a calling.
It ain't about me. It's about the mastermind, Danny, and everybody else. It ain't about me.
I know, but you were what got me there. So definitely, guys, surround yourself here. Number 2 is to develop unstoppable, unnegotiable action. Winners don't stop. So now we've got through the past stuff. We're building our grit and our mindset. What does this look like when you make this decision? What does this look like when you have this belief? Winners don't stop. Are you a winner or not? Are you doing this no matter what? Danny, you're coming in again. I don't know. Danny was here and then Danny was coming in again. I got thrown off here. You're always in the game. And you may be like, oh, I can't be thinking about my business all the time. I can't be working all the time. I don't have time to work it all the time. Doesn't mean you're working all the time, but your mind is always in the game. Your mind is always in the game of this is where I'm going. I may have to stop and work on this right now, but I know where I'm going. I know what I'm about to do. I know what I'm doing with this company and what rank I'm going to be at and what action I'm going to take every single day. It becomes in your blood, right? And I put lions on this one because that's literally what you become. You're a fierce lion going after everything that you want. When your belief level is at that level, you're going after it no matter what. It's in your blood. You can't take it out of you. Nobody could smack it out of you if they tried. Nobody can change where you're going, no matter what words come at you, just like Alan said with the social media stuff. Somebody throws something at you, say, thank you very much. I needed that. I know where I'm going. And when I know where I'm going, I'm going to get those things coming at me that are going to try to stop me. When things happen financially, with your family, in relationships, anything that's going on, those are all things coming after you because guess what? You're a winner. You're going after it. I shared on stage, I said, once I never watched Dr. Phil, but somehow I heard him say that winners do what losers don't. And so when you're making a decision, whether or not you're going to do something, or there's something you should do, but you're hesitating to do it, ask yourself, would a winner do this? And if I don't do this, am I a loser? Right? Like it's aggressive language, but it's true. Are you going to choose every single day, every single action, every single move you take? Are you a winner or a loser? Because there's really only those two sides. There's no middle. So, and I loved that. And one time, I also heard that winners ask for what losers won't ask for. People, like when we talk about network marketing, how many times do you end a conversation without doing the ask? It's the one thing we love to leave out, right? Oh, I shared the videos. I did this, I did that. But did you ask? Did you ask if they're ready to get started? Did you ask if there's any other questions that they have before they get started on the product or in the business? Did you ask, or did you just let the conversation go and hope and pray they're going to reach out to you and ask you if they can join? Because it's not going to happen. So you have to get comfortable with doing the things that winners do. Always over deliver. That is what winners do. That is what people who have a belief in where they're going do. They always over deliver. Over deliver with your team, over deliver in your actions, over deliver in what you promise yourself you're going to do, over deliver with your family, over deliver in blessing others, over deliver in serving. We have Charmaine. I don't know if Charmaine's on here today. Talk about over delivering. That woman came to our event. She was side by side with Paul for 48 hours. Doing all of the sounds, putting up the stage, doing the electrical stuff, putting our mics on, taking them off, being there, like just so organized. And she was there. She was spot on. I don't know. Is Charmaine here? I don't know if she is or not, but she did get recognized today by the company as well, which I love to see. But that was over delivering. That was servant leadership, right? And that's who you want to be. That's how you want to show up all the time. Don't under deliver. People don't join flaky people. People don't join people that say they're going to do something and don't do it. If you say you're going to call somebody, call them. If you schedule something, hold that appointment. Become that person that not only holds the appointment, but an hour before the appointment, you're texting them or messaging them saying, hey, just want to make sure we're good in an hour. Because you're reminding them, right? You're doing that extra step to also remind them that, hey, you have a commitment with them. Discipline and decision become your habits. They don't sound fun. We always talk about how boring this can be. That becomes your habit and you become addicted to it. You become addicted to your discipline and your decisions. You stop making decisions and doing things that are going to hold you back from where you're going. Because if you know it's going to pull you back further, why would you do it? Right? If you know that you need to be committed in whatever goal you have, whether it's physical, financial, in your relationships, make that your discipline to make sure you're moving forward in that every single day. And then the sacrifices and choices that you make are telling your subconscious where you're going, and it will start to work to get you there. Because again, we go back to, what did you wake up and decide to do today? What are your actions going to be today? What are you going to be doing in your business, in your conversations? How are you speaking to yourself? Because you're telling your subconscious exactly where you're going. But if you start making those sacrifices, if you start to say, you know what, I can get up an hour earlier and hit the gym, or I can get up an hour earlier and I can, do my 5 over 5 and get that done so that I start off my day with the intention of I'm building my business no matter what. Your brain starts to go, awesome. How can I help you with this? And I'm going to get to work and start to create opportunities for you and decisions for you and a path for you to get there. But the more you wake up and, you hit that snooze 45 times, you're like, oh, I'll get to it later today. And then it's, 10 o'clock at night and you're sitting there going, do I work my business or do I go to bed and try again tomorrow? And 95% of the time we're doing the latter, right? But doing that extra push and saying, no matter what, too bad I didn't get to it today earlier, but I'm going to do it now. You're telling yourself, no matter what, you're doing those. And Dr. Doug has said to me before, sun up, sun down, guys. The decision, when it's there and when the belief is there, it's a sun up, sun down option. There is no other options than doing everything that you say you're going to do every single day. So Paul, your thoughts on this?
I'm going to go really quick because I really want to give everybody enough time. And I think I've been a little long today, but it's ironic that you put the lions up there. In fact, I just sent you lion picture to show you like the feeling, how powerful those feelings can be, right? When you really have that in your blood like that. So then the other thing is, I love the saying about lions never lose sleep over the opinions of sheep. So you got to be that lion. You said that most people go through their call and they never get to the ask. And let me tell you why you're not getting to the ask. Because you're not building the business case up to that point where you don't have the confidence in what you express to them to even ask for the order. So your belief has to be in your company. Your belief has to be in your products. Your belief has to be in the method. People ask me, Paul, what video should I send to this person? And my answer is always the same. And I don't know if anybody on my team is on here, but they'll verify it. It's which video do you love? Because that's the one I want you to send. Why? Because it's the best? Probably not, but it's the one you believe in, so you'll have the faith in sending that video out. So if you do all of those procedures, you'll be able to get to the ask. If you don't have confidence in what you're delivering, as far as building your business case, the why on your products, the why on your business, the why you're in the business, you'll never get to the ask. So you need a little bit bigger belief.
Love that. Dr. Doug, your thoughts?
I think the most important word there is negotiate, unnegotiable. We negotiate with ourselves every day, and most of the time we lose. You cannot negotiate what you want out of life. You cannot negotiate what you literally want to achieve. And the reason why is because it needs to be a non-negotiable. I was on a podcast recently being interviewed, and somebody asked me what I thought the secret was to the coaching success that I've had, which at first I said God, obviously. But the second part, I said, I believe that what I do in my life, I don't negotiate. If I'm going after something, it's like a speed train down a freight. It's just straight down the mountain. And when you negotiate with yourself and it becomes a habit, what happens is you start compromising. And most people compromise themselves out of this business. They compromise themselves out of 7 figures. Now, I don't care whether it's AI, because we use AI now in multiple things. I don't care whether it's social media, which I'm a big fan of, and I've always kind of tried to stay under the radar, to be honest, but that's getting ready to change. Unfortunately, it is what it is. And the most important thing is I'm not going to compromise what I want to see happen with some new companies we're launching, it's just not going to happen. We have gone through hell and back trying to get these books out because the devil's come against it. But at the same point, we have not compromised what my personal goal is, period. End of discussion. There's no compromise to it. There's no negotiation to it. This is going to happen. And as I said on that podcast, you have to have a totally done mindset. Once you make a decision for something to happen, I don't care whether it's learning AI, I don't care whether it's just rocking the reels, whatever you want to do. Once you've made that decision, you cannot back down. It's done. You go after it. And if anybody tries to negotiate you out of it, or if you try to negotiate you out of it, you just simply shut that conversation down and keep moving forward. Okay, I'm getting fired up.
I love it. Oh, that's what we need. Alan, your thoughts on this? Oh, I think you're muted still.
Well, I was muted there because, because I get excited sometimes when y'all are talking and I don't want to interrupt. But, here's the question that you got to ask. You hear these cliches in this industry, and people say you got to have a why that'll make you cry. And you've heard that so many times. And I'm what I think that means is how bad do you want it? How bad do you, when you say, I want this, I want to achieve this goal. Okay. How bad do you want it? Are you willing to pay the price? Because so when you go back a slide, when it was talking about working on yourself, okay, do the inner work. Sit down with God and ask him what your focus needs to be. I heard somebody say the other day that he uses 3 phrases. He uses the same phrase 3 different ways. Each day when he gets up, he looks in the mirror and he says, God, use me. And then he says, God, use me. And then he says, God, use me. You see? And so here's the thing about this is you've got to do the inner work. This business is extremely simple, but it's not easy. And because you have to keep it simple, and you have to realize that these are pretty strong statements over here. Winners never stop. You're always in the game. It's in your blood. Always over deliver. Discipline decision becomes your habits. Sacrifices and choices. Or tell your subconscious where you're going, and it will work to get you there. Yes, that's the top 5% in this industry. But guess what? You're going to find some people that are in the bottom 20% of this industry who might be customers enjoying the products, and they have a vision and they have an idea and they have things they would like to accomplish. But we've got to reach down and support them and love them where they are and bring them along, keep them around the campfire, tell them how much we encourage, because a lot of them are here for the community. A lot of them are here for the support. A lot of them don't have the belief and the confidence that Paul has. A lot of them can't speak as eloquently as Angel and Dr. Doug do. Some people that they need to be groomed and trained and be able to get there. You see, when you look at these professional athletes, they didn't start out there. They got groomed and worked with and trained. So listen, always pour into your people. Listen, check on your people consistently and regularly. Not checking on them saying, hey, are you doing anything? Are you going to recruit anybody today? Or what have you done this week? No, hey, listen, I love you. I'm here for you and I'm supporting you. Wherever they are, you got to pour into them. You see, God says love everybody where they are. Our job is to be disciples, to bring people along. And I love everything we're saying here, but we've got to take people, and our job as a leader, if you're a leader, and everybody here's a leader, whether you're leading yourself or you're leading a team, you've got to work with yourself and work with your team and take it step by step and get you there. And here's what I'll say about that. You might change your plan, but never change your goal. The goal is here. You might need to change direction. You might need to learn something. You might need to study. You might plug into a mentor. I was up in Michigan visiting Dr. Doug and his wife, Jody, and man, we were just sitting around the campfire, no kidding, talking about sitting around the campfire, catching a spark, and he's pouring out words of wisdom and just like, wow, that's so powerful. And it's just, and that's what you got to do. You got to get around people. You got to stay around the right people. I know that I was looking over here, and I've got Sven and Anna own, and they're over in the UK, and they're like, I need this group, I need to be there. Sven and Anna, they're bulldogs. They're staying in there, they're working, they're continually doing it. They're consistent and persistent all the time. And they're 5 hours ahead of us over there. And they feel like they're out on an island because being over in the UK, most people over here in time zone gets them. Listen, we love them. He called me yesterday at 7:45 a.m. saying, can you do a call? I'm like, yeah. Let me get some clothes on, because I'm meditating and stretching, but I'll throw something on, look presentable. Pour into your people and you can get them here. You can create the vision, create the goal, change the plan, pour into them and bring them along with you and take them to help them reach their success. Hope that made sense.
That made a ton of sense. And I love that. And it sounds like I missed something last week when you said that family is forget about me, I love you. So that sounds like it was incredible. And I love that because we talk about family, right? And we talk about that's what we're building here and really keeping that mentality. If this is truly a family, if this is truly the people that you love, treat them like family, treat them like you care about their lives. It's not just about business. Building a family builds a people who of loyalty that you're going to stick together no matter what. And I love that. So I'm going to actually stop sharing. Bonnie, I see your hand up. I'll get to you right away. We're going to go to a few people here because I've still got 3 slides and we could be here for another hour, guys. So we'll continue this next week. So make sure to come back, get the rest of the slides and the conversation. Bonnie, go ahead. So good to have you here today.
Thank you, guys. This is my first time talking in this group, and I just want to thank you all so much because I get such immense value from these calls. Today, there was just one that was like a total mic drop for me, and I was washing dishes and had to just dry my hands and quickly write it down. And it's most people have more faith in fear than in the future. And that just hit me hard because I think that's where I'm sitting right now. And I've had this block and that just it's like my head just exploded. And there's so many nuggets of gold in these calls. And I just wanted to say how much I appreciate it.
That is awesome. And you know what, that's the thing is that's most of us, right? Most of us are giving our fear way more power than we are our future. And we don't even realize it. So it's when you hear somebody else say it and you go, oh my gosh, that's exactly what it is. Dr. Doug does that for me all the time. He'll say something. I'm like, there it is. Like you saw it, you knew what to say to me. So I love that. And Bonnie, it was so great to meet you. You're going massive places. You guys are just going to be a power couple. So just keep on with that future. And we're going to talk this week to her this weekend if you have some time.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Tracy Lee, your thoughts on today? I haven't seen you for a while, so it's so good to see your face here.
You completely rocked this call. Every part of it, you've got a lot of people that are amazing on this call, and I love when I can make it. And I appreciate you saying, make it a priority, whether you're in the Wealthfront group and you're doing Monday and Wednesday or just Fridays or whatever. So, I think for me, the biggest takeaway was, thinking that fear is just going to go away, right? It's not. You can't work around it. You can't deal with it without addressing it, right? It's never going to completely go away. But if you look at solving the underlying problem, right? What is the underlying problem? Well, it's your thoughts, right? Your thoughts either make or break you. And if you live in a negative mindset, you're constantly focusing on the things that could happen that keep you in that fearful mindset or anxiety, ridden or even anger, right? You're going to end up really miserable. So if you can change those negative thoughts with positive and work with the most perfect upline, replace the negatives with positives, replace the worries with hope, replace the fear with determination, and honestly just become fearless in your pursuit of your passion, right? And you've got to push yourself out of your comfort zone. You've got to overcome, and you're indirectly training yourself to be in control of your thoughts. And I think any time that we can get all these insights, and my gosh, today I've taken 6 pages of notes. There are so many great nuggets that were given today. But for me, it's always about not having more faith in my fear than in my future. And thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys rocked today's call.
Tracy Lee, I wanted to congratulate you on your new relationship.
Thank you.
I have enjoyed so much watching your videos and your posts because they just glow. And I just wanted to say congratulations.
I want to add on to that, Dr. Doug, and that is this, and I unmuted myself, and I even raised my hand because let me tell you something. Many of you on here don't know Tracy Lee, and this woman has 8 children. She was married for 30-something years, and I don't want to get it wrong. And her husband passed away of cancer, and she became a single mom, and she is a unbelievably humble, loving, hardworking individual who goes out there every single day and makes it happen. And Doug, I was also going to say congratulations on her engagement. Met a wonderful man, and so kudos to you. And listen, she's a God-fearing Christian woman. I've met with Tracy many, many times. We've had dinner together, and she's praying before meals, and she's thanking God. And she has faith, she has conviction. And listen, I don't know that I've ever, and I've known Tracy for quite a few years now, I don't know that I've ever heard her be negative. And she's had plenty. I mean, look at that life. And those of you who know that. So when you think about the struggles and the trials and the things you're going through, think about people like Tracy Lee, who have been faced with many, many adversities in her life and have continued to fight and continue to work. And I just couldn't be prouder to be your friend. And just congratulations on all your success. She's a top leader with her company, one of the very top, and she's also very successful in the industry and runs multiple businesses as well. So kudos to you.
That's very kind. Thank you, Alan. Thank you. And thank you, Doug. I've never been happier. I appreciate it.
You're glowing.
I got a man that prays with me every morning, so it can't get any better than that.
That's amazing. Congratulations. Tara Q, I was going to go to you next anyways. You got your hand up there. When we talk about grit, I see you out there building that every single day. Like just seeing you go, from the network marketing side to just building your whole own personal brand where you're working with top corporations who are bringing you in to have you train with them. Would love to hear from you, your thoughts on today, your takeaways for today, and anything else you want to add in.
Okay, did I properly unmute myself? Because I'm on my phone and I always do Zoom on my computer. All right, good. Hear me. Okay, excellent. First off, I just want to say earlier, someone in the chat asked where they can enroll to come to Dr. Doug's Monday and Wednesday Zooms, and it's wealthfuel.com. So if you don't already belong to wealthfuel.com, invest in that. You won't be sorry. You will get poured into so much, and it'll be something that 10x's your business. So I just wanted to say that because I don't know if anybody caught it. Wait, and Angel, ask me again the question. Sorry, I was so excited.
Your takeaway on today and on building grit and on really getting over past, how to just become so tenacious in everything that you're doing that you just go after it no matter what.
Yeah, sure. And I'm going to go outside because my puppy's barking at the mailman. So somebody mentioned social media earlier, and that's what I'm an expert in. And somebody said, I think it was Paul. Paul, was it you that said that if you're not getting any hate, you're not doing it right? Or you're not out there putting yourself out there enough?
I don't know if I said it on this call, but it's the story of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. So just a perspective shift real quick on that. I tell my clients the first comment you get from a troll is when we celebrate. So I actually have my clients call me, screenshot it, call me, and they're like, someone just said that I was cringy or whatever it might be. And I'm like, congratulations, you've made it. Because it's absolutely true. If you're going to put yourself out there, people get to have their own opinions, right? Dr. Doug always says people do people things. People do people things, right? I got that from Dr. Doug. And one of those things is that they have opinions, and those opinions are attached to their own identities and their own story that they've had since childhood, right? So you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but you're going to be no one's cup of tea if you don't put yourself out there at all. So I think, Angel, that it was just a really good reminder today's listening in, and I love everything that everyone said and everyone's perspective, but just a really good reminder that people care about themselves more than anything else, right? And so when you're putting yourself out there, it feels bigger to you than it does to anybody else. And like, for example, I've put stuff on Facebook that have accidentally been a hot button, and then people get like mad at or offended. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I was trying to be funny, or I didn't. And then I worry about it for like a week. I called my best friend, Holly, and Holly, what do you think? And she goes, I didn't even remember that. I don't even remember that. And I'm like, oh, that's right. It's because I care about myself more than anybody cares about myself. So even if that happens, right? Even if you so Angel, that's what I got out of this is like, just keep putting yourself out there, and do put yourself out there in a big way. Do put yourself out there with your beliefs and your opinions and what you believe is. Don't be vanilla. Nobody cares. Everyone's going to scroll right past that, right? Make a splash, make somebody else laugh, make someone else's day. And if somebody doesn't like it, that's their problem, not yours. It's such a hard lesson, but it's so true. And also, if they don't like it, they're going to forget about it like 10 minutes later when they've decided they don't like somebody else on social media.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah. I got. And wealthfuel.com.
Yes.
Brought by wealthfuel.com.
Love it. Thank you for that. And I heard somebody in a very colorful language that I won't share here basically say that if you've decided, if you believe, if you know where you're going, nobody can say anything that's going to stop you, whether that's online, your family, your friends, your spouse, your anything. Like, it doesn't matter. Nobody can change that. And if you're allowing that, if you still have those feelings, if you still get small when somebody throws something at you, or you read something that somebody doesn't like you, or you do something that somebody has an opinion about, and that makes you feel small, you don't believe enough, you haven't made a decision enough. So you got to work on that, because once you do and do feel that way, you're like, oh, that's funny, let's go. Like, you just don't care. And even Paul, you gave me great advice yesterday. We were talking about just a funny conversation about something somebody had said in the elevator at the hotel. And you said to me, and I said I wanted to say something back that was funny to me, but you said vibrate higher. And I was like, oh, that was good. Because, even
or how about this? Somebody else's opinion of you is none of your business.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're right. Vibrate higher, get above it all, because if you get dragged down, it's the bucket of crab story, all the time. We see it. We just, we preach it. We just got to put it into practice for ourselves sometimes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. When you said that, it was like, again, it's one of those, oh, I see that in me now, right? Like, you said something that made me recognize that I was doing that without even realizing. So it was great. We're going to go to Victor, and Yolanda, God's telling me you got something to say today. So we're going to go to Victor first. And Victor, what is your takeaway? You always have the best takeaway.
Well, I love what Sarah says. People don't, they're only worried about themselves. Like, so often, like, people, you worry about them for years, and you find out they weren't thinking about you, or you're holding grudges about them for things that they did, and they didn't even realize they hurt you because you never told them. So for like 30, 40 years, you've been angry about something. They have no idea what the hell's going on. So, yeah, most people are not too concerned. They're not even aware of your feelings. So remember, most people only care about themselves, because we don't have time to think about billions of other people here. Number two, the biggest challenge everyone has when they wake up is to stop thinking the same thoughts they thought yesterday. And the vast majority of people cannot do that. So the first thing you want to change is change your thoughts once you get up, because it is the hardest thing for most people to do, which is one reason why they are unable to change. So change your thoughts to better thoughts. And I think Paul said it. Your mind cannot differentiate between reality and what you're thinking, what you imagine. So if you're always thinking about the same painful thoughts again and again, that's what wires together, fires together. You have to change your thoughts. You have to visualize, imagine different things, a different reality, and it will eventually become a new reality. You know why? Because when you imagine a different life, there's a structural tension between what you have and what your subconscious mind is seeing. And the subconscious mind, which is so much more powerful than the regular mind, is going to look for ways to give you that new life. So always working that subconscious mind. I love the Dr. Doug thing. Pain, a path of acceleration inspired negatives. Great things come from pain. The greatest thing came from something very painful called the crucifixion. We all got redeemed. So great things can come from pain. Those of you that are mothers, in great pain, you gave birth to children. You brought them out into this world. So great things still come out of pain. So don't be afraid of pain. And fear and worry really gets the best out of all of us. Someone said, fear is false evidence appearing real, which is true. And the thing is, 95% of things we fear about never come to pass. So stop worrying about it. What did Mark Twain said? He said, I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which never happened. Worries is just negative hope. And a great book I recommend is How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie, the guy who wrote How to Win Friends and Influence People. So you got to stop worrying. You got to stop focusing on the positive, because what you focus on expands. And I love the things you talked about winners. Winners don't stop. They're always in the game. They're always taking action. They're asking for the things that winners are not able to do. So winners take action. They're always willing to do the things that the other people are not afraid to. And they don't care if some people say no, because you're always going to get no. You're going to get rejections. But you know what? Eventually you're going to get some yeses. So don't give up. Alan talked about Bryce Young. You're gonna, and he mentioned he's had better sets than many of these great quarterbacks when they first started. So it's going to come with the territory, but no one's going to worry too much about it. Just keep working. Don't give up. Surround yourself with successful people like the people we have on this stage right now. And it's you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You do that, you don't give up. This is the thing. Most people give up right before success is about to hit them. 3 feet from the goal. Don't give up. Great things will happen. Back to you. Happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday. I love that. Worry is negative hope. And then I wrote down belief is positive hope, right? The actual opposite of that would be belief. Exactly what we're talking about. Thank you so much, Victor. Yolanda, let's go to you. And then I'll let Alan and Paul say a few things. And Dr. Doug, if you want to close us out here. Yolanda, go ahead.
Happy Friday, everyone. It is always such a great time when I tune in. So thank you, Amanda, for always sharing the link. And Angel, you did an incredible job with the slides, with the information, and just hearing from Paul and Alan and Dr. Doug. Oh my God. And then Tracy spoke, and I forgot the other woman. But anyway, it was just such an incredible collaboration of wealth. And one of the things that I will say to everyone here, never, never, never forget that you were created in God's image and his likeness. Your value is already at 100%. And that's where you're working from. You're already working from a platform of victory. Everything that we go through, it's fuel. It fuels our obedience before the Lord. And then that fuels his power, his dunamis power to work inside of you so that you can continue moving forward. So when all of the stuff happens, right, you just dance with God. That's why when I believe it was Paul that shared about guidance, man, it remembered what I used to teach my youth years ago. Guidance, God, you and I dance in this. All of us, we have a this. That's why I put it between, the quotations. We all have a this. And it may look different from all of us, but when we keep our eyes focused on who created us in his image and his likeness, that this
Rich.
Smaller. And so I will close with this. I shared this scripture in our learning morning, and I'm going to add verse 22. And it's found in Ephesians chapter 4. And I'm going to read it in the Amplified version, Angel, quickly. And it's 22, 23, and 24. And it says like this, that regarding your previous way of life, you put off your old self. So if you're going to have a conversation with yourself, tell yourself to put off your old self. Completely discard your former nature, which is being corrupted through deceitful desires, verse 23, and being continually renewed in the spirit of your mind, having a fresh, untarnished mental and spiritual attitude, verse 24, and then I will stop, Angel, and put on the new self. Y'all, we wake up to brand new mercy every day. So when you get up and stretch and say, good morning, Holy Ghost, put on your new self, the regenerated and renewed nature created in God's image, God-like, in the righteousness and holiness of the truth, living in a way that expresses to God your gratitude for your salvation. So guess what? The moment you wake up to the moment you lay down, you're already at a platform of victory. So know your value, know your worth, keep working on yourself, and let's repeat, God use me. I love you all. Thank you.
We love you so much. I knew it. I knew we needed to hear from you today. That was awesome. I love the guidance. God, you and I dance in this. That is amazing. I got so much from today, guys. This is just incredible. Coming together, and we don't get to hear from everybody today, unfortunately, which we love to do. Tomorrow or next week will be shorter because there's only a few slides left and we'll get through them and then have more conversation. But pages of notes, just like Tracy Lee said, there's so much here. And I want to thank you guys so much. I'm going to go to you, Alan, and then you, Paul, and then you, Dr. Doug, just for kind of some wrap ups here and take them home.
Well, I just want to say this, when you talk about these goals and these slides that you presented, I think you did, as somebody mentioned, you did an amazing job. But what we're talking about here is everybody, you started your journey and you started writing your book of life and you started writing your success journal, and whether it be your book at birth. And some people consider that each year is a chapter. And some people consider that there's different chapters, like my youth and my teenage years and these sort of things. But see, here's the beautiful thing about it, is today starts a new page in your book. And you pray and you have faith and you write that new page and you start writing your future today. You see, and all that we've talked about here in a minute is don't let other people hold the pen writing your story. Your story can end any way you want it to. It doesn't matter where you started, doesn't matter where you come from. Your first slide talked about leaving the past in the past. Leaving the past in the past. And so there's lots of people on here who have had past, me included, okay? But see, today starts that new day. Get your pen out, start writing a different ending from where you've been. Your past has absolutely, I love what Bob Proctor said, and I don't have an hourglass here in front of me, but he takes an hourglass and he says, if you take an hourglass and you turn it up, there's sand at the top, there's sand at the bottom, and then there's a little narrow part. The bottom is the past. There's absolutely nothing you can do about that. And then the future is at the top. The only thing you can control is what's running through that center little piece right now. So you can write a different day. You can get up every morning and be grateful. I put a post out today that says, hey, when you got up this morning and you enjoy the sunshine, you be grateful that God gave you another day to write a new page in your book. But also on Veterans Day, I want you to thank those veterans for giving you the freedom in the best country in the world, and the world to be able to write that future and get what you want out of life.
I love that. That is great. Thank you so much, Alan. Paul, your final thoughts for today?
Really quick. How about we help you make 2024 the best year you've ever had in network marketing by making a commitment to be here every single Friday, and we will pour into you everything that we have. The biggest thing is there are no secrets in network marketing. Any good professional will lay all their secrets out to you right in the open. The reason we know, and Alan and Angel and Dr. Doug and I know that they're safe, is most of you won't pick them up to use them. The best place to hide your best material is right out in the open because you don't think it's going to work. And experience a little bit of pain. I think Dr. Doug's pain analogy was fantastic. So here's something. In 5 over 5, we teach make 5 new connections a day, 5 new conversations a day, and 5 news exposures a day. If you're telling people you're in the network marketing business and they are okay with that, and if you tell people they need to be involved and they're still not saying yes, it means they're not sure if they can do it. So use this call as part of your recruiting strategy to show the support that you give your team, and use us as part of your upline. Use us to be part of your independent upline to show people that they can do this with the proper support. I expect this call in 2024 to be in the hundreds of people. And I know it's going to be there, and I feel it's going to be there. Guys, I've paid thousands of dollars for this training, and you're getting it for free on a Friday. And when you look into Wealth Fuel, go click and see what that is a month. And I'm telling you right now, you're probably spending a lot more on your latte, which you shouldn't be drinking anyway, than you would be to be there. And there's so much material there. And I know I praise on Dr. Doug, but he changed my life. He literally changed my life. So just, you're right, Dr. Doug, God put you in my life for a reason. Let us put us in your life. Let him put us in your life for a reason. We'll deliver everything you need. Bring your people here. It's a safe place for them, and watch your business explode because you deserve it. Thank you, Angel. Great, great job today.
Thank you so much. I just appreciate you guys so much. And thank you for coming on here and coming into this content. I was like, some people have heard it because they heard it on Saturday, but I know you guys were going to come in with just some massive contribution to everything there. And Dr. Doug, your final thoughts for today, sending everybody out into the weekend. What is on your mind for closing out?
Real quick, just looking at the slides that you did were really, really excellent. Just off the hook. I just have two questions. I want you to ponder this over the weekend. Number one, what are you costing you? That's one of the hardest questions you'll ever ask yourself. What are you costing you? And the second question is, what are you costing God? Because it is God's great pleasure to bless his children. Not just pleasure, but great pleasure. And if you look at the ancient Aramaic of that, it's an eternal, ongoing, enduring, it doesn't never stop. And when you're costing yourself because of your lack of belief, or as you can't understand that pain is fuel, when all these things are working against you, what are you costing you? It's time that you say, I'm not paying the cost anymore. What I'm going to start doing is I'm not going to cost me anymore. I'm not going to cost anybody anything anymore. I'm going to go out and I'm not going to be a cost. I'm going to be a blessing to people. And when you do that, when you understand that you can decide right now, today, this weekend, I'm done. I'm not going to be a cost to me anymore. I'm going to be absolutely jet fuel. That's when God smiles, because now all those blessings that have been blocked because you're costing you, all those blessings you could have had suddenly start showing up. And that's where you want to be. So with that, I'm going to shut up. God bless y'all.
Love it. Thank you so much for that. What are you costing you and what are you costing God? Guys, that is fuel for your weekend. That is fuel for the week to come. And just use that. Sit on the few things that we talked about. We will continue, with your permission, Dr. Doug will continue this next Friday. There's a few more slides to go, and we'll continue to talk about building grit in your mindset and in your business. Appreciate all of you. Nice to meet you, Sven and Anna. Great to have you guys from the UK. So good to see you. And thank you so much, guys. Thank you to everybody today. We will see you next Friday, same time, noonzoom.com. God bless you guys. Have a great weekend.